More than 15 years ago, many of the organizations represented here today were on board to kickstart the Millennium Development Goals, 8 global goals designed to ultimately improve the lives of all persons in all communities across the world. Today, with some or all of those goals met to some extent, there has been a transition and an expansion of the scope.
15 years later, we were able to say what we had accomplished or what we hadn't accomplished with those goals in each country. And Belize has some successes, in those areas, very important, that they've worked very hard to get there. And one would be, making sure that all the children are in school, making sure that, fewer women die during childbirth, a number of other goals as well related to health, related to environment. But now that whole process was concluded in some way, Millennium Development Goals, we have a bigger project, a bigger framework, which is called Sustainable Development Goals. So again, all of the countries in the world came together and discussed and talked and finally pinpointed a new set of goals, which we also call global goals, which are 17.
Those 17 incorporate the 8 previously set out, but now there is much more to work towards, including peace, justice and strong institutions, climate action, and gender equality.
It gives us something to work towards. As you said, and Belize has to define which of these goals, which are 17 goals, Belize would really like to take and focus on and try to accomplish. But I feel confident that Belize is in a good position because I find a country in which people really care about their country, they care about their fellow neighbors, they care about, even people that they don't know, that they see on the street. I think that Belize is a very caring country and that the government is, committed as well. So I think that Belize has a lot of, potential to work on this.
Besides an expansion of scope, there is also a focus on sustainability, doing good for all the world's citizens while ensuring that betterment in the short term doesn't have a negative impact around the corner.
If we have, we're building a hotel because we have tourism, which will create jobs for people, that in a particular community that doesn't come at the expense of, for example, if people in those communities have lived from fishing, that all of that doesn't reduce the numbers of fish so that their children aren't able to live from fishing anymore because the fish aren't there. So it's kind of balancing all of that. And it's a big challenge, but these challenges are easier when it's not just Belize. It's a lot of countries talking about the same things, focusing on the same things and really working together and also learn from each other about how to get there, how to strike that balance, how to make sure that people's lives are better.
The 2-day workshop is being facilitated by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, also tasked with supporting Belize in the formulation of a sustainable development strategy.
Belize has achieved quite a lot in terms of the Millennium Development Goals. But when you say, the 2030 Agenda or post-2015 Sustainable Development Goals, we don't mean that we stop what we have been doing in the MDG and move to the new agenda. It's a continuum, actually. But the new agenda brings an opportunity to expand those 8 goals to 17 goals. For example, there was in the past an education goal. It continues to be an education goal. There were health goals. It will continue as well. Those which are not achieved in full extent then will be achieved during the SDG era.
The workshop includes presentations geared towards the transition from the MDGs to the SDGs and how the experiences of one can assist in working toward the other. A better world by 2030. Mike Rodon for News 5.